Hello, hello, welcome. If you haven't already, please like the live stream. Hopefully, we can get some people in here tonight. I do have a live subscriber count here on my left. I was trying to get it set up to where you guys can see it on the screen of the live stream, but I was having some trouble with that, so sadly, only I can see that. But we are almost to 2.5K. Very, very exciting. I'm gonna work on my avocado. Yeah, if you guys are artists or just starting, feel free to draw with me. I am currently drawing a cupcake. This is my reference here. I actually took it off of Pinterest. I'm not exactly sure where it originated from. But if any of you guys are new here, please subscribe. My goal this year is to get to 3K. Hello, welcome. I'm an artist. That's amazing. I love to see artists here in my community. Last live stream. Let's see if I can show you guys here. Last live stream, I drew this egg. Tried to get it as realistic as possible, but I am trying to work on realism throughout this year, so hopefully it ramps up from there. Yet again, if any of you guys are new here, I would love to have you guys in my community. I did like the edges where it's like crispy. I tried to get it as crispy as possible. I think that's the part I struggled on the most. I think this is one of those pieces that is definitely going to take a minute, but I usually go on live for about an hour or two, so I probably won't get all of it done. What I usually like to do is put down the base colors first and then blend out that area. It's kind of funny to think that with rendering and sketches, I kind of literally do all of that in one go. As of most artists tend to do the base layer and then render. If you guys are new here, feel free to come and chat with me. Your drawing is so cool, by the way. Thank you so much. I just got my headphones today for recording music on BandLab. Now, I kind of know how to blend out colors and make cupcakes kind of look realistic. I did draw a cake a while back for my birthday. I did not finish that, sadly, but it was pretty realistic, I would say. So hopefully I can kind of get that realism effect with this. If anyone is wondering what app I'm using, I am currently using Procreate. I used to use IBS Paint X, which is also a great beginner app for beginner artists or even artists in general. It's actually a pretty good app. Um, but I did switch to Procreate, I believe, last year, and I kind of just been doing most of my art on here. I do use a couple set of brushes. I do like to use the flat brush for most of my pieces, and I tend to use a couple of set brushes that I believe I downloaded. I'm not exactly sure. Next live idea, finish the cake. I do want to finish it. I just feel like I'm so past that drawing now and I'm more focused on more pieces or different pieces actually. I will be posting another short later on today. I use IBS Paint. It's a great app. I first started digital art using my phone and my finger, which is very difficult, very difficult. But that's my first art app. Yeah, at that time I did not have access to a iPad or a pencil or anything. So I was kind of just trying to wing it. Hopefully next time I can try to figure out how to put a live counter here on the screen up here. I know you have to use a certain software to do that, so I'm trying to figure out all of that. Yeah, I feel like Procreate should be on most platforms. Kind of sucks a little bit. I actually used to have a Android when I first started on digital art, but then ended up switching to iPhone. Yet again, guys, I'm just getting the base layers down, so I know it kind of looks a little wonky right now, but trust the process, guys. If you guys haven't seen my last YouTube short, please go give that short some love. I work so very hard on these drawings, you guys have no idea. We are currently at 2,439, so we are so close to being at 440. I believe we've gained about 70, maybe 80 subscribers in the past few days, which is definitely a good thing because I was fluctuating with subscribers for a very long time, especially since they added that new algorithm here on YouTube. I like gore. I used to draw a lot of horror related drawings. I tend to do that now and then, but I usually try to keep that for Halloween so I have kind of fun content for you guys. So every single year, like around August to October, I tend to do Halloween themed drawings. How is the weather for you guys? I know it was definitely pretty hot today. I believe it's supposed to be hot throughout the week. My AC was actually broken for I don't even know how long, but it was so bad. Yet again, if any of you guys are new here, my name is Mochi and I have been drawing for 8 to 9 years. I started dictional art in 2022 to 2023 around there, and I just started realism this year actually. Feel free to check out my channel. I do have a couple of realism drawings up, so hopefully that is kind of your taste. I like to make cute gore drawings. That is definitely kind of my favorite type of drawings to do, but sadly I don't really do them as much anymore. My style definitely has changed a lot throughout the years, but I do very much admire them. Psych words are definitely pretty scary. How do I find my style? That's a very, very, very great question. I kind of struggled with this when I first got into art. I kind of just, I guess my advice to you is kind of just draw whatever. If you think drawing big round eyes or anime eyes, as just to start with, it suits you, then go for it. At some point, you tend to find what type of eye shapes you like to draw, what type of nose shapes you like to draw, or what type of colors you like to use the most. It kind of just hits you at some point, but how I started was kind of just drawing stick figures or big anime eyes, is how I really started. In like this year, I found that I really liked realism, and now I'm studying that. So it's kind of really up to you what type of art you really like. Art is whatever you make it to be. Hello, Carlos. Welcome. I finally watched Obsession the other day at the movies. It's definitely a really, really creepy movie. I enjoyed it though. Yet again, if any of you guys are new here, please help me out and subscribe. My goal this year is to get to 3K. And if you aren't interested in art, that is perfectly fine. Please like the live stream, it will help me out a lot. Yeah, Obsession, it's a good movie, but it's not like, I wouldn't say it's scary. It's more like a thriller, creepy out type of vibe. I probably won't finish this drawing today on live stream, but that's okay. I will leave this for next live stream, meaning I will not touch this drawing until I do that next live stream. I can promise you that. I do have two drawings I am currently working on right now. I went with four friends and a girl beside kept hiding her face onto my arm. I think the only creepy part was I don't necessarily wanna spoil it, so I'm not gonna, like, say what happens in the scenes, but the car scene, I really hated that. Yeah, that scene really freaked me out. I think I gasped so hard when I watched it, because I definitely was not expecting her to do that. Who has watched Tarot? I love Tarot. I think I watched it maybe 3 times already. Hopefully, we can get some more people in the live stream. I love Tarot, it's so good. Yeah, that's definitely another movie that kinda creeped me out a little bit with some scenes. Since I am currently drawing a cupcake, what is your favorite flavor of either cake or cupcakes? Let me know. I think mine is either red velvet or maybe like a strawberry shortcake flavor. You don't like cake? That's the first time I've ever heard someone say that. Hello, hello, welcome. If any of you guys are new here, please like the live stream. Or if you are interested in art or even realism, please subscribe. We are so close to 2.5K. I also recently made a live stream cover as well. I made a little miniature me holding a Apple Pencil with some of my recent top 3 art pieces. And each time I make a new piece, I will replace one of those drawings with one of the recent ones. So I have that displayed up for you guys. I also think it kind of makes it look a little interesting for newer viewers. Oh, I like ice cream, I like brownies. I haven't had brownies in a very long minute. How do I do a shadow? For drawings, I recommend making separate layers for shadows. So if you have one of your drawings on one layer, I would make a layer beneath that, and you can make a shadow underneath that, and it won't get on the drawing at all. For beginners, I'm not going to get into like color theory and stuff. I would just blur it out a little bit with a blur brush, and that does the job for the most part. Hello, welcome everyone, welcome. We are currently at 2,441, so we gained a few more subscribers. Very, very exciting. So anything I should add to my psych ward drawing series of my OCs? So a little thing about me, when I used to draw like horror drawings, I used to be obsessed with drawing like human hearts, and those are really, really fun to draw. So maybe you should or could add a OC maybe holding a human heart. That'd be kind of fun to draw. I don't know what brushes to use for shadows. It's really, really up to you. You don't have to use any specific brushes. That's what a lot of people struggle with, is trying to use a specific brush, but it really doesn't matter. You can make art with whatever brush you'd like. I got something to confess. I haven't drawn in a while, and when I did, it was during testing at school, and it was my most realistic and favorite drawing. Then the teacher took it. Oh no. That honestly really sucks. I don't think I've ever had that happen to me, but I think I would probably crash out if it did. Because that would like really suck. I will be adding some more texturing here. I'm just trying to get some of the most bigger spots like this area right here, kind of in there. And I will be blending this out as well. Kind of notice some little specks and spots throughout, so I'm going to add those as well. I'm not exactly sure what those are. Fallen angels. Wings are definitely very, very fun to draw. I think we also have a little speck here as well. I'm going to add that in. It looks like it's right about here. Maybe I'll grab a little bit of a darker color. I'm thinking those little specks are probably like either crumbs or frosting rubbed on there. Or a different color, I mean. I think I'm going to start blending out this area right here. I am going to add a little bit more color. Looks like there might be some shades I missed here. Now, if anyone is wondering what type of brush I use for blending, I like to use the round brush in painting. I use this literally for everything. Or sometimes I might use like a textured brush just to add texture in there. I like to keep it on a low setting. I'm going to blend out this line a little bit more. Ozzy has long hair and Star I don't know why I made it like that. I already want to give up on doing this avocado. Don't give up. See, one thing about art is you're going to have a lot of ugly drawings. At least at first you will. And one thing to remind yourself is when you are learning how to draw, it's going to take time. It's going to take a lot of time. But you have to be patient with yourself and have to stay motivated with practicing and drawing. And even when pieces turn out bad, just keep them. Trust me, just keep them. Because when you get to a certain level in art, you're going to want to look back at those and compare. I'm just erasing some of the edges here. I think the fun part or fun thing that's going to be maybe a little difficult but really fun to draw with this piece is probably the cherry or the goose. Not exactly if that's some of the cherry or what, I have no idea. But I think that's going to be fun. Let me know what you guys want to see me draw food-wise when I am done with this piece. It doesn't have to be a specific theme, like last time I drew an egg, so it can be pretty much anything. A rotten avocado is crazy. Let me know what you guys think of the frosting so far. I know it's not looking too realistic so far. I do have to add a little bit more texturing, especially in those highlights, and I think I have the perfect brush for that. Right now I am using a skin textured brush for those highlighted dots. I feel like it needs to be a lot more whiter, so maybe I'll just leave that for the last part. I'm going to continue to blend this out and add some more colors. I'll go back to my flat brush here. How was everyone's day today? I'm gonna say something else. I don't know why. Sometimes when you go live for a little bit and you just start yapping, then you kind of lose concentration a little bit. Yesterday I ate a whole scoop of wasabi for $10. Oh my goodness. I definitely would not be able to do that. Hello, welcome. If you are new here, please like the live stream. Or if you aren't subscribed to me, please subscribe. Our goal this year is to get to 3K. We are currently to the halfway mark of 2.5K, so we are almost halfway to our goal. And welcome anyone else who is also joining. Feel free to come and chat with me. Currently, we are at 2,441. I do have a live subscriber counter right next to me so I can see when I have new subscribers to my channel. I think after I'm done working on the frosting here, I'm going to move on to working on the drips. I probably won't finish all of them because some of it, like this part, is covering the wrapper, and I would like to get the wrapper done first. Just trying to work in some of that texture. I thought you were gonna say you were gonna end the stream. Not at all. You guys know I go live for an hour or two, so you have nothing to worry about. 4.5 hours. I would like to do longer streams in the future. Sometimes I just get caught up with life and other things that I have to do. So sometimes I just disappear for a little bit and then come back, like in this case, post like 3 videos a day, which is something I have been doing. But sometimes things happen and we just get caught up. Trying to get some of those darker shades in here. Yet again, hopefully I can figure out how to do that live subscriber counter on the screen. I know that'll definitely be more entertaining for you guys instead of me just telling you. Can be amazing for fire. I actually do have a couple fire brushes. Let's see if I can actually show you guys. This is another reason why I like Procreate. It comes with a lot of fun brushes, but this is a flame brush. I kind of like to just do it myself usually, but if you're kind of lazy, you could just make your own flames if you wanted to in different colors. But that's a pretty fun brush to use. I will also be going into college hopefully soon. I'm just finishing up my electives and stuff for my high school program, and I am planning to go into the graphic design field, which is definitely pretty exciting. But as I'm going into that field and learning things, I plan on maybe trying to do YouTube videos for you guys and help educate you guys while I'm also learning and educating myself. I hope you guys are excited for December and October. I do have a couple fun things planned for you guys. I will be starting the drawing Halloween season a month before. Since I'm doing realism now, it does take a minute. So expect drawings from me for August, September, and October. And hopefully I can get a couple done, because it does take some time. Just like how I did last year, I did do a drawing advent calendar. I don't know if I'm going to exactly do that this year. I do want to do something like that. I'm just not exactly sure if it's going to be like a landscape or something else. Considering I haven't drawn landscapes in a minute, I'm not exactly sure if I can pull it off. Because sometimes when you don't draw something for a minute, you kind of have to relearn and teach yourself all over again. Do you think you're gonna find a new style after realism, or are you sticking with it for like a while then switch if you find one? Pretty much, once most people stick with realism, they kind of just stick with it. There isn't really any other medium to go and surpass realism, unless if maybe you switch to like in real life painting. But you guys know that I love my digital art, so I definitely won't be going back to traditional, at least like that. There isn't really anything I can surpass, at least now. So the only thing I can really do is just keep teaching myself realism and hope I progress with that, and hopefully my art just gets more and more realistic. I don't know how realistic it can get after this, who knows? I do have to work more on human portraits. I do struggle a little bit with some things like the bridge of the nose, and also clothing as well. I do struggle with that. So that's kind of something that I do have to teach myself. Would you ever splash paint onto a canvas and put $1 million price tag on it? Honestly, I don't think I would, to be honest. I do think this is just my personal opinion. I do think it is art. As long as you put your whole life and soul into the painting, then I consider it art. But if you're just doing it for fun, just to do it for money, then it's definitely not art at that point. I will be getting to blending this area soon here. Just adding a few more colors. I will possibly be live for maybe one more hour. We'll see how this live stream goes. So hopefully we can get some more people in here. If not, that is perfectly fine. Looks like there's also a pink edge to the frosting as well, which does make sense because there is that liquid pouring down and it probably is seeping into the frosting. So I will be adding a little bit of a pink edge to wherever I see that. You should do some polls. I can do one if you guys want me to. Let me know what type of poll you guys would like me to do. I feel like this area is like way more brighter on the photo than it is here, but I know it's just the color theory tripping out on me for real. I know once I add more of the colors, it's probably gonna lighten up a little bit. What looks better, traditional art or digital art? Alright, let's see if I can do one here. Alright, so I have a new poll up. What looks better, traditional art or digital art? I do like to go back to traditional art sometimes and do little paintings. I do love to paint. I believe I still have some of my traditional art posts still up from when I was doing traditional. Yes, I do paint occasionally. I don't paint as much, but it's more like a now and then type thing when I have an idea. I think the last painting video I had up was a painting of a duck. Alright, I'm going to start blending some of this out here. Yet again, if you guys didn't see my last two shorts, please go give them some love. What is your favorite piece you ever did on like any Melly Martinez thing you did? I want to say the newer one that I'm working on. I just realized how many personal records I've broken to myself since your last stream. Sometimes I like to turn off the sketch just to see what I'm actually working with. It's kind of hard to see the drawing fully with the sketch underneath. So I definitely do have some more blending and stuff to do here. I'm going to start erasing some sketchy details here because I don't really need those anymore. And I'm not really worried too much about it looking exactly the same like the cupcake. I think it's getting a little realistic there. I can't really tell. I ran a 6-minute 50-second mile, held a 2-minute 30-second plank, and benched 149. I could never do 149. Definitely a little too weak for that. How long does it to do a full realism piece of a person, if you could say, even though you're not done with Melanie or Oliver? I would say now, especially since I progressed a little bit since my last finished realism piece, I would say maybe a month or two it would take me. I think the Oliver one has to be my fastest one so far, though. I think that's only taken maybe a few hours in total, timed. Obviously, with Procreate, it times all of your movement and stuff all in one piece. So sometimes it could take me days and it'll just bunch all those hours together. So that one's definitely my fastest realism piece and my more realistic piece so far. But usually it does take me about a month or two, which is average for most realistic pieces, at least when you first start. I'm going to add some more color here and some spots. And I will be getting started on some of the detailing on the drips. Yet again, I don't think I'm going to get this cupcake done this live, which is fine, so I will leave it for the next live. Like I said, I will not touch this piece until the next live, so you guys don't have to worry about coming back and be like, oh, you did the cherry or the wrapper. I didn't know it takes that long. Yeah, it does take a very long time. I would say for pieces like this, it doesn't take too long if I'm like really motivated. But that's another thing with doing realism is it's a little frustrating, especially with the newer YouTube algorithm, is having to do 15-hour pieces or even longer sometimes and just get barely any likes at all. People definitely don't realize how long pieces do take, and it does take a lot of time. Oh no, I accidentally drew on the sketch piece. That happens sometimes. It sounded like a lion growling or something. There was a noise? Unless if I accidentally did it, I don't know. Who knows, guys? Here, actually, it might have been my AC turning on. Yeah, it might have been my AC, guys. Yeah, it did get fixed today. Otherwise, I would not be live right now because it definitely was super duper hot and just way too uncomfortable to do a live. No ACs sounded like that. I mean, I want to hope it was my AC. I was so focused on the drawing that I did not pay attention to that. Alright, guys, let me know. I know it's kind of like at an angle, but does it look somewhat realistic so far? I like the burnt stuff on the bottom. I don't think it's supposed to be burnt, but I think it's maybe what is that stuff called? That cake stuff maybe either reflecting off of the frosting, or you know how sometimes when the frosting kind of comes off in chunks, it kind of just absorbs that cake color. I'm pretty sure that's what that is. So now we're kind of towards the end of the frosting here. Like I said, I will be getting started on the drips. I don't think I'm going to be able to finish those today, but I will save that for next live stream. Too bad we don't have more people in here chilling with us. I think there's a little part right here. You should teach us light theory if that's a thing. I don't necessarily think it's called light theory. I'm not exactly sure what it's called, but I think I do know what you're talking about. About where the light is hitting and where the dark is hitting. It's pretty easy. All you really have to do is kind of figure out where the light is going to hit and draw a line. It doesn't have to be straight. And wherever that line ends, that's where the darkness would hit the most. And that applies for whatever angle. Like if it's from top, it's going to be more down here and so forth. I'm going to add some of that pink. And there we are, finished with the frosting. Well, at least the main base. I will be adding a little bit more detailing. On the poll, the traditional art is at 67. Not worried too much about erasing all the parts because I will be covering most of it with the drip. So it's going to look more neat anyway. But there is the frosting so far. I will be getting off live here in a little bit. But I'm going to get started on that drip. I feel like the most easy one to do is either this one or the side. I'm not exactly sure which one to do. I think I'm going to do the one more on the right. So what I'm going to do here is do the same thing I did with the cupcake. Place the colors down and then kind of just blend it all towards the end. Yet again, if you guys didn't like the live stream yet, please do so. It helps me out a little bit. Uh-oh, I think my pencil just died, guys. There it goes. Sometimes my pencil disconnects randomly, so it makes me think my pencil died. But then it never actually dies. Imagine it really does die right after. I usually make sure to charge everything up before I do my live streams because I know sometimes I do go on live for a long time. So I just have to be prepared and I make sure everything's charged up. Because I did have my pencil die a couple times, especially last year a lot during live streams. Yet again, let me know what you guys would like to see me draw next, food-wise. I will be working on this on live streams until it is officially finished. I will also be getting those highlights in there when I am done blending this out. Just want to get at least most of the color down. Like I said earlier, I will be posting one more short for the night, so look out for that. Just trying to get most of this color down. I probably won't finish this whole drip, but I want to at least get that main highlight in there. I think what's actually going to make this pop out more is adding that highlight. Welcome back, welcome back. I'm not exactly sure if I like that highlight or not. I feel like or in the picture it looks a little bit more crispy. So I don't know if I'm going to keep that there or not. I think I gotta go. Something just came up and it's gonna take forever. That is perfectly fine. I'm actually about to end the live stream now. Or not now, but in a few minutes. So hopefully I see you next live stream. Yeah, I think I'm going to try to redo that highlight next live. Or maybe add in the highlights after I'm done with the drips. But this is what I have so far. I'm going to get rid of this reference so you can see what I have so far. So the drip looks a little bit plain right now. I will be adding in some highlights and I will be adding maybe a little bit more texture to the frosting, but I think overall it looks pretty good so far. Definitely more realistic than the egg I did last live stream. So let me know what you guys think of it. I know it looks a little plain so far. I will be adding more detail in it. And like I said, I will not be touching this drawing or piece in general until the next live stream. So these little mini drawings or series in general is just for the live stream and the live stream only. We are currently at 2,441 subscribers. I will be adding some more detail to this, like I said, and I will be also posting a short later on tonight as well, so look out for that. And hopefully we get to our 3K goal this year. I have a feeling that we will get to it. We only need, I believe, maybe 550 something more subscribers. It's definitely going to take a minute to get up there, but I think we can do it. I hope everyone has an amazing night, and I hope that you guys enjoyed the drawing process of this so far. I will be continuing this next live, and I hope everyone has an amazing night.